Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching the topic I spoke about in my previous videos about how to catch the feeling of a tower crane, or how to understand how your tower crane works. So each tower crane works in different ways. I'm currently on a Wolf 133B luffing crane. So basically this is a perfect crane to teach how to catch the feeling of your crane. So basically how to catch the feeling of your crane simply talks about how your crane actually works. So basically catching the feeling of a crane, I think, is very important in crane operation, because this is what makes you understand what speed your crane is on. It also helps you to calculate your stopping distance. It also helps you to understand your crane. So on this crane, this is a Wolf 133B. So catching the feeling of the crane, basically when you get into any tower crane, so for example, I'm going to be slewing to my left direction. I'm going to be slewing in the first gear. You pay attention to the sound of the crane. So basically catching the feeling of the crane basically talks about the sound of the crane. So first of all, I'm going to go in the first gear. I'm going to slew to the left. So this is how you learn how to catch the feel of your crane. Did you hear that sound? There was a little click to tell me that my crane is in my first gear. Now on this particular crane, I'm going to increase it to the next gear, and then you tell me what you notice. You notice another sound. Now you could tell there was an increase in an acceleration to let you know that you're on your second gear. So now I'm going to put it in the third gear. Did you hear that little sound in the increase? So you have to pay attention to your crane to be able to know when you are in the first or in the second or in the third gear. Some cranes, once you click into the first gear, it gives you a clicky sound. Once you go into the second gear, it gives you another clicky sound. That way you can know what gear you are on. But on this particular crane, this is a Wolf 133B. It's an hydraulic crane. It's very noisy, so sometimes you might not hear the sound of the clicking of the gear, but you hear the increase in the slew. You see that the slew has increased in the sound of the speed has increased. Then you would know that you're on your second gear. So depending on the crane you are on, you put it in the first gear, you hear the sound it makes. When you go into the second gear, then you compare that with the sound it makes to be able to know what gear you are on. This is very important to be able to calculate your stopping distance and to also catch your slew or jib swing. In one of my videos, I've said earlier that you catch your swing depending on the speed your crane is on. So say for example you've created a swing in the second gear, you try to stop it in the second gear. So catching the feel of the crane would help you understand what particular gear you are on, what mode your crane is on, and how to slow it down and how to operate appropriately. And don't forget, in my other video I spoke about catching a swing. Best way to catch a swing is to not create the swing. So basically catching the feel of the crane would help you operate the crane with little or no swing, or would help you understand what speed you are on, what speed you are not on, when to stop, how not to stop, and how to stop. So that's basically what catching the feel of a crane is all about. Catching the feel of a crane is basically telling you about understanding your crane, knowing what gear you are on or what gear you're not on, knowing how to reduce your gear from the third to the second and down to the first, knowing what gear you are on depending on what mode you are on, depending on what position you are on the slew. So catching the feel of the crane, like I said, is very important in crane operation. You have to understand how your crane works. You have to know the movement of your crane. When you put it in the first gear, how swift it moves. That would also help you to determine how to slew in a steady manner. Yeah, so catching the feel of the crane will also help you learn how to slew in a steady manner. Some cranes, you put it in the first gear and then they jump as soon as they jump, you realize that you can't actually slew steadily on the first gear. So those sort of cranes, you have to tap your slew button. Immediately you tap it, you release it back into neutral, and then hold it in the first gear to help encourage that smooth slew. So basically, catching the feel of the crane tells you about if your crane is in motion, what your crane is doing at the moment, what speed you are on, and etc. 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 So basically, this particular one I'm going to use it to teach how to catch the feeling of your crane. So if you listen attentively, you will hear the sound the crane will make once I put it in the first gear. That's the first gear. You heard this tiny click from the slew ring. Then as soon as it goes into the second gear on this crane, it doesn't make any sound on the gear, but you can hear from the acceleration, from the sound of the hydraulic. Same as the Jeep. That's my first gear Jeep. That's my second gear Jeep. That's my third gear Jeep. So there's not much difference in the sound of the Jeep on this crane, but as soon as you want to drop it, you can hear the sound slightly reducing. As soon as I get to my first gear, you can hear the sound slightly reducing. Slightly reducing. That's the sound of my Jeep. So this way, you know I'm not jibbing anymore. I'm now on the halt. I've stopped the jibbing process. This is basically what catching the feel of a crane is all about. When you put your crane in the first gear, what sound it makes, how fast it goes on the second gear. This will also help you calculate your stopping distance. So as soon as you're heading to the direction where you want to stop, you know what gear you are on, and then you know how to stop appropriately. Yes, so this is a quick video on how to catch the feel of a crane. Complement this video with the rest of my videos, and it will help you get to your operating goals. If this video has been on any help to you, if this video has helped you in any way, click the like button and subscribe to my page. In case I upload more videos, you would get a notification. See you in the next video. Cheers.